Welcome back to Underdog Racing League. I am Chance Durheim, bringing you coverage from Richmond Raceway. Today we have the Richmond 200 presented by Wild Bill Soda. It'll be 200 laps around the 1 mile track that will be sure to test drivers' patience and tempers. With that, let's take a look at some of our keys of the race. First off, you got to manage your tires here. Richmond is known for grading those tires. It can be up to a second after only 10 laps here. It will stabilize a little bit after that, but if you can protect those tires early on in the run, it will pay off later in the run. And keep your nose clean as well. It is a short track. Get beat up pretty bad at Richmond here. Keep that thing clean. Be able to keep that downforce and keep that thing moving quickly around Richmond. And then lastly, manage your tempers. It is a tough track if it doesn't go your way. If you get moved out of the way, anything like that, you just got to keep your cool, stay cool, calm, and collected, and make sure you get to the end of this thing. Because there's probably going to be quite a few cars that exit this race early. This is tough on drivers, tough on cars, so keep the car under you, keep it on the track, and you should be in for a good finish. But with that, let's take a look at our Custom Inc. starting lineup. Starting on the pole is a new driver this week, making his debut. It is the 38 of Tyler Merritt. Starting second alongside Tyler is the 15 of Jason Fensler, last week's winner at Road America. Starting third is the 27 of Nick Gardner. To his outside, the 81 of Jason Seams. And rounding out our top five is the 29 of Jake Williams Sr. To his outside is the 68 of Will Young. Then we have the 21 of Christopher Heights. To his outside, the 71 of Justin Shank. Then we have Curtis Cairns. He will start 9th in the 72. And then Matthew Young in the 13. He will start 10th. Then going through the rest of the field, we have Dylan Walterman in the 16, Robert Clifford in the 99, Chase Durheim in the 2 starting 13th, Cody Dorsey starting 14th, Noah Tansman 15th, David Chapman Jr. 16th, Jason Bottoms 17th, Marshall Wilson 18th, Scott Milner 19th, Scott Kerberg 20th, 21st is Derek Riley, 22nd Steve Rogers, 23rd Ian Baker, 24th Dakota Bly, 25th Stephen Horner, and then not 26th, Justin Stannard is there, but he is our eye in the sky tonight. But the other two out there will be David Buell and Evan Logue, likely starting from the pits. And this is a good aerial view of the 1 mile race we'll be going around tonight. It starts with a little bit of daylight, but I think as we progress through these 200 laps, it will start to darken. Maybe get a little more grip in the track, because I heard from drivers it was very, very loose in practice. No matter if it was early, late in the run, those exits are very loose and hard to handle. So, like I said, keep that car under you. Get to the end of this thing, and should be in for a good finish. But it'll be Tyler Merritt on his debut, leading us to the green flag. To his outside, Jason Fensler, the winner last week, as mentioned. Well, we're getting ready to go green already. Well, the pace truck told me it was 1 lap to green, but we're going to take one more ride around. Get everybody ready, and then we will be underway. So, Merritt and Fensler, they were the top 2 in practice. Durheim and Young were 3rd and 4th. They did not qualify as well as their practice time suggested. But I don't know if practice is what we really want to go off. I mentioned that the tire wear is so heavy here that if you can kind of just have the long run speed rather than the short run speed, I think you will be set up well. But gotta have the cautions go your way as well. You gotta have a lot go your way if you want to be a URL winner. We'll see who can do it tonight. Pace truck makes that left-hand turn, and it'll be all Tyler Merritt leading us to the green flag.
Green flag.
Green flag is out, and we are underway. Good even start for the 2 out front. And Tyler Merritt is away. I need to take one look at something very quickly. Need to get the spotter out of here. And then we're good. Sorry about that. But it's a big lead for Tyler Merritt already. We'll go back to Nick Gardner. He's in the battle for third. Not so much anymore. He's escaped that. Looks like Justin Shank is trying to make a move. That's where the first action is. Shank and Williams. Caution is out already. 70 is Steve Rogers. Let's go take a look at what happened. So here's Steve getting into turn one. Just a little too much. And into the inside wall for Steve. Yeah, just gassed it up a little too much, and around he went. And that'll be a fast repair probably used for Steve, and heavy damage already. See the 15 of Jason Fensler is down pit road. I don't know if he jumped the start or what, but he's using some tires here. Let's go to the previous lap and we'll see if they dinged him for that. Let's rewatch the start here and take a look at what happened. So yeah, it must have been a jump start for the 15. Came down pit road and yeah, he is 2 laps down already. So a terrible start for last week's winner. He's trying to get by Steve Rogers exiting the pits. But yeah, last week's winner 2 laps down. Not going to be able to get the free pass next time. David Buell and Steve Rogers both 1 lap down, but that saved the 69 of Evan Logue. He had to start from the pits, and with the caution coming out that early, he did not end up going a lap down. Looks like the 52 of David Buell was not as fortunate. But as of right now, he looks to be the first car 1 lap down. I don't know if he will get the free pass or not. I guess we'll see. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't, but somebody was in the middle of the pack there just slamming on the throttle. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, like I said, these cars are very loose on exit. We're going to see a lot of cautions in that kind of way tonight, I believe. Just giving it too much, especially on these cold tires, right on restarts. I think if we get a long run and then we get 1 caution, that is only going to breed more and more cautions. So I think these drivers need to take it upon themselves to just get through the restart, and then they can start making their moves. I know they all want to get by, gain as many positions as possible right away, but if you're going to end up wrecking your car, not going to be the way to do it. This will be a long one tonight too. Richmond, 200 laps, so I think this is probably one of the longest races we have. I know it's a short track, but still about 23-second lap times, I believe. Somewhere in the 22 to 24 range. It's going to be a lot for these guys to handle, but it'll be Merritt, and now Nick Gardner. He will move to the outside of row 1, and those two will lead us to green this time by. Everybody's double filed up. Will Young, Jake Williams looking to capitalize in row 2. But again, it'll be the 38 of Merritt leading us to the green flag. And he gets another great start. I don't think there's any worries about jumping the start for Nick Gardner on the outside, as Will Young goes right on by him. And the front 3 are away. Again, it's Justin Shank, and it is Jake Williams. the first battle on track. Robert Clifford looking to make a move as well. See Durheim, Matthew Young, Kurt Cairns. They're all battling. That is for 8th position. Williams and Heights, 2 URL veterans, though, side by side for 5th position. Heights with the early advantage there. Gets right on by Williams, and now Robert Clifford is going to look to do the same. Durheim gets around Matthew Young. It looks like he's clear. But these two still side by side for 6th. Battle heating up ahead. Nick Gardner, Will Young. Now this is the battle for 2nd. Gardner trying to make a move on Will. Doesn't have it right now. And right now these guys are towing the line between being cautious and saving those tires and trying to gain as many positions as they can on the restart. So if your driver doesn't have speed right now, don't worry. They may just be saving. Stage 1 ends at lap 60. And these drivers have about a 65 lap fuel run, so especially with that caution, nobody should be worried about making it to the end on fuel, but the tires will be hurting by then for sure. Gardner's just got nowhere to go. Let's go off the nose of the 27. See that drinkwildbills.com machine from Will Young, our presenting sponsor. And Will is carrying the torch pretty well for him right now. Usually Justin Stannard is another driver that has that on his race car, but he's helping us out being the official tonight. So it's just Will Young, and that car is running well up in 2nd. Some big movers so far. Robert Clifford and Chase Durheim both up 6. Ian Baker up 12 spots back in 11th. Here comes Gardner to the inside. Can he outbrake the 68 into turn 1? We saw some drivers back in the pack making moves, making passes on the outside, so see if Will Young can hold on. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Gardner almost had him clear, but Young fighting back. Still side by side. Will Young taking a very high line, trying to get a good run off, and it's paying off right now. Gardner drove it a little too deep there. Looked like he was clear for a second, but just didn't have the car under control. They're still side by side. It is so tough to be that inside car and have to pinch your exit every time and just not be able to use the whole track like you want. Now Will Young pitches him down. Gardner stays strong and in the throttle. They make contact out of turn 4. And they keep running. Gardner was ahead of the line that lap. Young gets into the wall a little bit on exit, but didn't look like it hurt him too much. Gardner is now clear. Young did not have the run off the corner. Looks like Gardner will take the position now. Up into 2nd. And all this is let Tyler Merritt kind of run away with things out in 1st. But new driver into 2nd. We'll see if he can pull away from Will. A little bit further back, Christopher Heights, Robert Clifford, Chase Durheim. This is all the battle for 4th. Little loose there for Heights. He's going to have a shallow entry into turn 3 here. See what Clifford can do in the 99. Clifford was very strong at our opening races, I should say. The speed weeks. Didn't run as well last week, but now showing that speed again at Richmond. Here he goes to the inside of the 21. See how well Heights can hold him off on the outside. Looks like Clifford is clear. So new driver into fourth. Durheim looking to follow him through. So 2 spots and 2 corners lost for the 21 of Heights. Oh, looks like the 71 of Shank is real loose back there. He was able to gather it up. A pretty incredible save for Justin. And we stay green. But I want to highlight the 8 car here. The KFC machine of Ian Baker. He is up 14 spots since the start of this thing. Shank loose again. But he's all right. And look at Jason Fensler driving all the way up here. He's 2 laps down. He might be trying to get his lap back the hard way. Dylan Walterman looking up high. He's going to lose a lot of time out there. If Fensler can get back on the lead lap, I think he's... Obviously, I mean, he qualified second. He's a real threat to win this race. And I think if Ian Baker can get up there, he's going to have something for our race leader, Tyler Merritt. It's a pretty big battle right here for 7th, though. Fensler looking to the inside of Ian Baker. The problem right now for Fensler is that a lot of cars are going a lap down. Evan Logue just went a lap down. Stephen Horner went a lap down. So he's going to have to take a wave around at this next caution. And then hopefully he can get back on the lead lap that way, because just waiting for the free pass is not going to be the way to do it. Let's go check in on our leader, though, the 38 of Merritt. He is all alone, up to a 3.2 second lead. About 0.3 better than second place Nick Gardner that last lap. Now, one guy who's kind of keeping pace with him, 2 guys actually, Chase Durheim and Robert Clifford, 4th and 5th. Their lap times are pretty even, as well as Jake Williams and Ian Baker, so those are some guys to watch out for. Maybe if they can get some track position, they will get back up here. See Thomas in the chat. Yeah, it's all going pretty well. Sad you're not with us. Hope you're doing well, bud. Hope we see you next week, man. We go back to Nick Gardner. He's in second all alone. And caution is out on the speedway. Let's see who it's for. Oh, big damage for the 17 at Eric Riley. Justin Shank involved as well. Let's take a look at what happened. So right along with Riley, as we go into this corner. Oh, it looks like there was contact with... Oh, wow. Bottoms and Justin Shank. And then 5 or 6 cars piled in after. So let's go up to the 71 and the 5 here. Jason Bottoms looking to the outside. Shank got on the apron a little bit there. Thought he was clear. Moved up. And big damage to a lot of good race cars back there in the middle of this pack. I'm just going to pause it right here. I saw the 85 of Marshall Wilson. The 66 of Noah Tansman to the inside. And we'll go forward, see if anybody else gets collected later in this. Doesn't look like it. We're going to have to catch up live, though, as pit stops are happening. So, looks like Tyler Merritt's going to come down, but a couple guys going to stay out. Wow. So Merritt will come down. Nick Gardner will stay on the racetrack. He will inherit the lead. And that's not what Jason Fensler needed to see. He needed all those guys to come down pit road so he could take the wave around. But with this caution, and Gardner and Heights staying out, there will be no wave around for the 15. I mean, if I'm Nick Gardner, maybe that's a good thing. Stay out just so Jason Fensler can't get back on the lead lap. Because we know that 15 car is fast. He won last week. He's a multi-time champion in URL. If I can keep him a lap down if I'm one of these front-running cars, that just buys me more time and likely one more position at the end of this thing. And I don't think Jason's going to come down and pit because on that first lap, he took tires, and I don't think he meant to. So he's got to find somewhere to save a set, and this might be where to do it. Once we get caught up across the start-finish line, I will give you the entire running order here, but yeah, it looks like Clifford, Durheim, Merritt all came down. But we will officially know once everybody gets across the finish line here. So Matthew Young stayed out on the racetrack. Jason Seams stayed out. And Scott Milner. So 4 cars stayed on the racetrack. 5 cars, excuse me. And that leaves Tyler Merritt, Will Young, Robert Clifford, Chase Durheim, Jake Williams, your top 10. So that was just over halfway through stage 1. Lap 60 is the stage break. We'll see if this strategy works for the top 5, how long they're able to hold on. If they can get quite a few cautions strung together here, and they can get to the end of this stage without using a set of tires, that will set them up very, very well later in this race. I talked to Chase pre-race, and he was talking about finding a time to save a set of tires, and looks like he opted, and most of the field opted, that this was not the right time to do it. So maybe if your Heights, Gardner, Seams, Young, Milner, maybe you guys saved your tires quite a bit, and you'll be able to pay it off now. But getting ready to go green. I'm excited to see how this strategy plays out. Gardner's away. Some pretty big checkups on the top line there. And the front 3 are all away very cleanly. Let's go back to Tyler Merritt. Tyler trying to make a move already by Matthew Young. Contact a little bit further back. And Merritt is already up 2 spots. And he's got to be aggressive right now. Make sure he gets as many spots as he can before these tires start to equal out. And contact a little bit farther behind. 13 is around. Matthew Young. We'll see who else was involved. I'm not sure who he made contact with on the top there, but it looked like that was another case of a driver just not being clear. Let's take a look. So it's a 13 of Matthew Young. It looks like it's going to be Young on Young crime right here. I don't think Matthew saw the run that Will had. And he came up. A couple other cars involved. And, yeah. Big trouble for the 13 and the 68. Saw one other one here, though. Ian Baker. So contact there, and pretty decent hit for the 8. We'll see how much that affects him. I mean, looking at his car, it doesn't look like there's much damage, if any at all, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. Let's go on board with him. Everybody's trying to get as much as they can here. And then, I mean, from his in-car, that doesn't look too bad. So he might be all right. Then we'll catch up live. I'd like to get as many replays as possible, but sometimes that costs us from, or stops us from being able to see the pit road action. But drivers who came down, I believe, are Dylan Walterman, Jason Seams, and Christopher Heights. So a lot of those guys that stayed out come down this lap, try to get a little bit fresher tires. Looks like a lot of drivers are coming down here. I don't know if this is to fix some damage or what. So yeah, the leaderboard's going to be a little bit messed up for a bit here until we get everybody on the racetrack and going. Nick Gardner will still be your leader, though, and now he is the only driver in the field that has not come down pit road just yet. So it'll be interesting to watch if we get a long run to the stage here, if he's able to kind of hold on and not just get run over. Because tire wear is pretty big here, especially on 42 lap old tires. But Nick was also the second place driver for almost all of that first run, so we'll see. Yeah, you're right, Thomas. Like, once Chase went 3 wide on the inside there, I don't know if Matthew was ready for it, and I don't think he saw Will on his outside either. Just kind of 2 guys made some moves, and then, especially on those older tires, it was hard for Matthew to hold on to it. Next time by, we should be going green, and I like what I see up front. These are a lot of drivers that I expect to be up front at the end of this thing. I think we're just missing the 15 of Fensler and maybe the 29 of Jake Williams. No, he's back in 7th. He's close enough up here, I think. But yeah, I think all these top 7 have a shot to win this race, and I think right here in these last 17 laps to the stage, we'll see who's got the best car. So it'll be Nick Gardner on the inside on old tires, and everybody else trying to get around him. Tyler Merritt starts on the outside. Chase Sturheim, Ian Baker, row 2. Will Young, Robert Clifford, row 3. Let's get back to racing. Good start for Nick Gardner. That'll leave the 2 and the 38 side by side for second. Oh, Merritt into the wall there. Chase going to try to go to the inside. Chase did not have the speed in the middle of the corner there. Here goes Merritt to the inside for the lead. Tyler Merritt on his debut, flexing his muscle. Around he goes Nick Gardner on his old tires. And he is back to the lead. Chase Sturheim, Ian Baker, they are both stalking him in 2nd and 3rd. Baker looks like he's trying to make a move on Durheim. Gardner has held up surprisingly well so far on those old tires. Now under attack for 5th position. Let's go on board with the 8 as he tries to get by Chase Sturheim in the 2. And right now, I think these guys are going to be going pretty hard right here. I think all of them are going to come down at the stage break. And then after that, then they may try to save their tires. Listen to the throttle of the 8 car. Ian Baker is almost never full throttle. Listen on the exit. That is awesome. I mean, it shows you how on edge these drivers are. These Xfinity cars are one of the harder cars to drive on the service, I think. Especially for oval cars. These guys went from driving the trucks last year to now in the Xfinity car. As Baker tries to make a move to the inside, doesn't have enough. And you see how loose he is off 4 every time. He is wheeling that number 8. And trying to get by Chase Durham, but he just can't do it. Tyler Merritt has not been able to drive away, though, like he did early in Stage 1. So, this is very interesting. The way that, maybe he's trying to save his tires and just mind the gap to Chase, but looks like he might be on edge a little bit, too. These 3 look to be 3 of the 4 strongest cars, though. They are all very close together right now. And fighting very hard and driving very hard, as we saw when we were on board with Ian Baker. Looks like we got a big battle back there. Jason Seams, Jake Williams, Chris Heitz, Nick Gardner. Williams drives it hard into the corner there. Can he make it stick with Heitz on his outside? And Nick Gardner again. Round of applause. He is still in 6th position on, what is it now, 55 lap old tires. An incredible job by Nick so far. Seams to the outside of Heitz. And Seams is making it work all the way up top. Give him a few more positions in the 81. Gardner losing a few more spots here, but if he can just hold on and get at least 1 stage point, I would see this as a massive victory for the driver of the 27. Let's go back up front. We got coming to 2 laps to go in the R4 Environmental Stage 1. Battle for second is on. Looks like Baker might finally have a shot to the inside to Chase. But Durham holding strong on the outside. We'll see if the lap car of Stephen Horner has anything to do with this battle. Horner tried to get out of his way as best as he could there, but looks like Chase is going to be able to get away on the white flag of Stage 1, and it'll be Tyler Merritt coming through 3 and 4 for one last time, collecting the Stage 1 victory. And the caution is officially out. It'll be Merritt, Durham, Baker, Young, Clifford, Seams, Heitz, Williams Sr., Gardner, and Kurt Cairns, your top 10. But we saw some great racing there between the top 3 and then that second group back there. Jason Seams riding the top seam. picking up a few spots. But I think the driver of stage 1, it's 27 to Nick Gardner, picking up 2 stage points. While that may come back to hurt him if something goes wrong, he does have 1 extra set of tires on the entire field, so. And Jason Fensler, he did not come down pit road at any point. He used a set on lap 2, I believe, accidentally. But now he's even with most of the field, so. Let's go to pit road. So this will be, I believe, our 4th Mission 22 caution of the night. This one obviously for the stage, not for cause. And was that just right side tires for the 38 Emerit? It was, I believe. So that'll be something interesting. I think if I'm these drivers, I am watching the 38 on this run, seeing how well those 2 tires hold up. I wouldn't expect anybody to stay out here. No, Tyler Merritt's still your leader. But Jason seems, I'm going to guess he took 2 tires as well. He goes up to 2nd. So your top 5 will be Merritt, Seams, Baker, Durheim, and Young. But while we've got some time, let's hear from our presenting sponsor, Wild Bill Soda.
You're looking mighty thirsty. Wild Bill's pure cane sugar, old-fashioned sodas.
Shout out to Wild Bills for being the presenting sponsor of Underdog Racing League and all of our wonderful sponsors that we've got on board this year. Check out their links in the description below. But this time it'll be 2 drivers on 2 tires, leading us to the green flag. Merritt and Seams, Baker, Durheim, Young, Clifford, Walterman, Heights, Williams, and Gardner round out the top 10. We've got Derek Riley, Kurt Cairns, Noah Tansman, David Chapman Jr., Marshall Wilson, Scott Milner, Dakota Bly, Cody Dorsey, Stephen Horner, and Scott Kerberg. They were all on the lead lap, 1 lap down. Steve Rogers, 2 laps down. Jason Fensler, Jason Bottoms. 2 fast cars right there. Justin Schenk, 3 laps down. Matthew Young, 11 laps down. And Evan Logue, 12. And then David Buell is the 1 car officially out of this race. We got the Walterman fan back in chat. Love to see that. Yeah, it'll be Merritt, Seams, side by side for the restart. So we come through 3 and 4, and we are under green. Oh, the 29 of Williams could not hold on to it. Around goes Steve Rogers, Justin Schenk. And that will be caution number 5, presented by Mission 22. Let's go take a look at what happened to Jake. Just center a little bit too hard. And that is a pounding to the inside wall. Doesn't look like the 70 or 71 have much damage, if any at all. But they both went for a little bit of a spin as well. And yeah, that's going to be a tow for Jake Williams. He was a fast car all night, so that is a pretty big blow. Let's go take a look at it one more time on board. Yeah, just a little bit too much, and then at this point let's hold the brake and hope it goes your way. He heard him try to fire it back up there, but that thing was not gonna go. So we'll go back live. Jason Fensler is your free pass. Watch out the rest of the field. He is now down to 1 lap down. Because Steve Rogers was involved in the incident and he spun around, I believe that gives it to Jason. Got bad news for Scott Kerberg if he is watching this. Minnesota United down 2-0 to FC Cincinnati, unfortunately. It's going to by Stephen Horner down pit road. As well as a couple others. Steve Rogers, it looks like. But Ian Baker, he is now outside row 1. He'll be one to watch here. I've been a part of URL for probably 2 or 3 years at this point now. We've raced at Richmond probably 2 or 3 times now. Stage 2 is when a lot of guys lose their heads. This is when I was talking about keep your temper, keep your mentals in check. There's usually a lot of cautions in stage 2. Guys see one caution, then the next restart, they really just want to go for it. Get as much as they can, and they end up going a little bit too hard and wrecking themselves. So these guys can just take it easy, be patient. We can make it through stage 2 and hopefully get a fun long run to end it out in stage 3. Next week we are at Chicagoland for our throwback race. That'll be a fun one. I expect to see some great throwback schemes from the guys. And a lot of these guys have, I mean, the paint schemes this year I think are the best that I've seen while being in URL. A lot of guys putting a lot of effort. I think with the increased sponsor presence and presence that were on YouTube, I think these guys want to look a little better. And they are certainly doing that. I like the font that Tyler Merritt's got on that 38 machine. That's fun. But we will go green this time by. It'll be the 38 and the 8, leading us to that green flag. Merritt inside, Baker outside, Jason Seams, Chaser. I'm looking to capitalize in row 2. Big jump for Merritt, and away we go. Baker going way up top. Gonna slide that thing down to the bottom. And we are back underway. Young, Seams, and Durheim maybe 3 wide. I don't know if Chase knew that up top, but he's going to be the beneficiary as he moves up into 3rd. Now it's Young and Seams. Remember Jason on those 2 tires. See how much that's affecting him right here. Oh, hard into the wall, the 81. That might have knocked the steering out of place there. That's a pretty hard hit. Jason Seams continuing to fall through the field. Now getting passed by Nick Gardner. Heights and Robert Clifford. They are looking to make a move now. Heights got forced out of the apron there by Jason. I think Jason just said, I need to get to the bottom. I don't care how I do it. Heights didn't think he was going to make that move, and Seams goes from 3rd all the way back to 7th right here. Dylan Walterman working on Will Young. This is the battle for 4th. Then back up front. Let's see how these guys decide to drive early on in this run. Lap 120 is the stage break. Will they be cautious, conservative, or will they go try to take the track position while they can? Looks like Baker and Durheim don't have the pace that they had on the last restart at the end of stage 2, or stage 1. But maybe they're just trying to save their stuff, save their tires, because that is key here. About 5 laps, these guys are going to be really fighting for grip on exit and fighting to get the car to turn early and in the center of the corner. Looks like we might have a little bit of a battle deeper in the pack. Marshall Wilson, Cody Dorsey, Jason Fensler 1 lap down. Fensler still in that free pass position. Nobody else 1 lap down, but he's got to fight pretty hard to get through this field because somebody like Dakota Bly, Stephen Horner, those 2 guys are kind of on the block to go a lap down if Merritt gets there. So Fensler's got to be up and near them when they go a lap down. Ian Baker's been gaining ever so slightly on our race leader, Tyler Merritt. Let's see what he's got right here. We know Ian can drive that thing about to its maximum capability. We saw at the end of stage 1 there, but can he save tires? Can he get this thing to be good on the long run? That's going to be key if he wants to beat Merritt tonight. It is a 2.5 car breakaway, I'd say. 4/10 back to Baker, 2nd back to Durheim, and then 3 seconds back to Will Young and Dylan Walterman. But we're right in the middle of stage 2. Let's do an Underdog Racing League. Crank it up for the first time tonight. Ian Baker still holding strong right behind Tyler Merritt. We'll see what Baker has for him. Merritt has been the dominant car all night, but both Baker and Durheim have stabilized in second and third. Early on when it was the 27 and Nick Gardner, Will Young, both those guys trying to chase him down, they fell off. Deeper and deeper we got into the run, so maybe these guys have done a very good job of saving their tires. We'll see. That last lap, though, that was not good for Baker. 2/10 off of race leader Tyler Merritt. Dylan Walterman running pretty comparable times back there in fourth, but fortunately for him, he is 4 seconds back. Going to be tough for him to make an impact on this run. Let's go back a little deeper in the field, find some action. David Chapman, Kurt Cairns, side by side. This is for 11th. There's a big logjam in front. This is Nick Gardner, Will Young, Robert Clifford. All of these guys battling for 5th position. Evan Logue does a good job in the lap car there, getting out of the way. Ooh, Evan. Hard into the wall back there. That'll hurt. Looks like Baker and Durheim both now a second. 1.2 seconds back of the race leader. I see Chase was talking in chat. I don't know if something happened to the lap car, but I know he's not trying to hold back on the mic. Heights to the inside of Will Young. I don't feel this run has gone the best for Will. He's back now to 8th. There's Jason Fensler, 1 lap down. And Stephen Horner is a lap down, so this is what I was talking about with Fensler. He's got to get up there. And he's got to pass Stephen Horner. And then he's got to go past Dakota Bly, because right now he is not in free pass position. Let's let iRacing dictate what they think is exciting. I think it's Kurt Cairns, Derek Riley, Marshall Wilson. This is a battle for some stage points right on the edge here. Derek Riley's got that spot right now. Might be a battle for second going on. It looks like there is. Durheim and Baker. These two seem to have very comparable speed all the way throughout a run. Durheim going to try the middle line there. Get a run off. See if he can make a move down low to the inside. Baker got into the wall a little bit. Side by side for second. Baker going to get a good run off the corner, and Chase just does not have it. But here he goes back to the inside. Looks like Baker's going to clear himself right there. Chase got loose. He'll have to gather it back up. Go off the roof of the 2 machine. Everybody now fighting the loose race car on exit, but struggling to get it to turn everywhere else. This battle still raging on, back in 10th. Marshall Wilson side by side with Kurt Cairns. So at 80 laps to go will be our stage. I know that's what you guys see now instead of the lap counter going up. So 80 to go is stage. About 17 away from it now. Wilson almost contact with Derek Riley there. This is a pretty big spot. This is one stage point. I know 1 point doesn't seem like a whole lot, but at the end of the day, that could, or end of the season, that could be very, very important. Especially because usually the guys fighting for this last stage point are the guys that are going to be around that playoff bubble. Marshall Wilson has the spot for now. Looks like this is the closest battle we've got on the track right now. Everybody pretty spread out, kind of minding their own business. Let's go through the field. Up front, we got a race leader, Tyler Merritt, as he got into the wall a little bit down the straightaway. Been the dominant car all night, and looks like he's got the long run speed as well. Up to a 2.4 second lead over Baker and Durheim, who have been battling a little bit, but, I mean, Merritt is putting on a show right now. Dominating out in first place. Second, we have the 8 of Ian Baker. He started all the way back, I believe, in 23rd position. And now he's up here in second place, trying to hold off the hard charge from Chase Durheim. He's been able to move through the field, but doesn't look like he's got the car to contend with Tyler Merritt just yet. Then we got third place Chase Durheim, as we've got a caution on the racetrack. 71 of Justin Shank again. So we'll go back a lap and see what happened. So it looked like it was off of turn 2 maybe? Maybe getting into turn 3? He's battling with Jason Seams here. Shank already at this point is quite a few laps down, and he gets loose into Jason Seams, and around he goes. And that's going to be some heavy damage. That might end his night. We'll see. He's 4 laps down. But yeah, now let's take a look at some strategy. Tyler Merritt, he's going to come down. He's going to try to flip the stage here, it looks like. Baker Durheim doing the same. Robert Clifford going to stay out. And that is going to stop Jason Fensler from getting back on the lead lap. Wow. That's crazy. Let's go back to pit road and check what happened. Or check what is happening, I should say. No pressure really for Merritt here. The battle's going to be between Durheim and Baker. See who can come out second. Looks like Baker's going to win that race. Walterman and Durheim close. Nick Gardner got them both. So again, once we get everybody through the pit cycle here, we'll update you on the running order. But yeah, big move by Robert Clifford, staying out, going for the stage points. Looks like quite a few guys are doing that as well. And I don't hate that strategy if I'm one of those guys a little deeper in the field. So it'll be Clifford, Tansman, Riley, Dorsey, Seams. 5 cars again stay out. And then they will come pit at the end of the stage here. And that'll be that. We're a little closer to the end of the stage this time. So I think makes it a little easier if you're a leader to come down pit road, be able to flip it. You don't have to worry about your tires so much. But one thing I want to point out, that last run, Tyler Merritt was on 2 tires. Unless I saw it wrong, you guys can help me out in the chat. We all watched his pit stop last time. But I believe he was on 2 tires, and he still was able to get out to that lead. So I think an act of God is going to be needed to stop him from winning this race. Or that number 15 car on the inside there. One of the two. So Fensler deciding not to come down pit road? I think if I'm Fensler, I come down pit road there, and then I can take the wave around if needed next time. But maybe he just wants some fresh tires next time and thinks he's pretty guaranteed for the free pass. But yeah, I mean, I think this is the most I've talked about a lap car in a very long time, but we know he's fast. He just needs to get on the lead lap to show it. But it'll be a little bit different group out front. Robert Clifford leading us to the green flag, 99.66. The two on the front row, Noah Tansman on the outside. And two of my favorite paint schemes actually up front here. The Hawaiian Punch, and then, sorry to Robert, but I don't know his sponsor. But, yeah, that is two good-looking race cars out here. Sim Magic machine for Robert Clifford. These two side-by-side fighting for the stage win. Let's see who gets it. Clifford inside, Tansman outside. Great jump for Clifford as everybody checks up behind him. 3 wide already in the middle of this thing. Looks like they sorted out. Oh, maybe not. Everybody's around. Heavy damage. Oh no. Jason Fensler scoots by on the outside. Kurt Cairns gives a little love tap to the 8. And let's go take a look at that again. And when you saw this on corner entry, I think it was all but a given on what was going to happen here. Dorsey on the outside blinked a little bit. I think that, let's go take a look at this one more time before I make any assumptions. But I think I know what happened. So watch the 16 there. He doesn't want to go 3 wide, but it looks like he does. He then checks up. So yeah, let's just go off the nose of Chase here. So the 16 is going to check up, not wanting to go 3 wide. Chase isn't ready for that. Gets into the back of him, and it sets off a cataclysmic turn of events right there. Let's go take a look at it one more time. Seams comes up, not expecting to go 3 wide. Chase kind of just gives a bump to the 16, and it all starts from there. And Chase is my brother. I will be very hard on him if I believe that was his fault. But I think right there, that's kind of just a racing deal and a restart. He was luckily the beneficiary for him. But, yeah, I think everybody just kind of came together there, and he wasn't expecting the checkup. And, I mean, it's not Dylan's fault for checking up there. He doesn't want to go 3 wide. It's just kind of a racing deal there, and unfortunately, it tore up a lot of good race cars. So we will go green probably with 2 or 3 to go in the stage here. And then we'll be off to NCS Stage 3. And I mean, I really feel bad for Dylan in that scenario, because Dylan is just trying to be nice there and back off, and then that ends up making him kind of the pinball that ends up getting shot around and into all the other cars. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances right there, but I guess that's just the way it goes sometimes. This is great if you're a Robert Clifford fan. Noah Tansman, Derek Riley, those guys stay in the top 3, and they're going to look to collect quite a few stage points here. So it's lap 119 right now. I think it'll be a 1-lap shootout. It will not be a green-white checker. It will be a white checker. So when we go green, it'll be 1 lap around, and then it'll be the stage break. So We will see. I will check the Discord right now just to make sure that that is for sure the stage break. Or not the stage break, and it shouldn't be, based on our rules, but you never know. With that caution, Jason Fensler's on the lead lap, so if you're a fan of any of these top drivers, that is not good news for you. Robert Clifford will lead us to the green, and it's a great jump for him. Watch the 38 of Merritt. He wants to make a move, and he does, right through the middle of Riley and Tansman. He's up to second. Can he get him? In turns 3 and 4. Clifford outside, Merritt inside. Side by side at the line, and Tyler Merritt did not get him. Oh, that was about as close as you could get. But it was not enough. So Tyler Merritt is second at the line there. Robert Clifford, your stage winner. And then it'll be Tansman, Durheim, Gardner, Riley, Heights, Walterman, Cairns, and Kerberg picks up a stage point at the end there. So very wild there. I hadn't had to yell too much there, so a little bit of voice cracking as I called that one, but you know, that'll happen. Tyler Merritt is still ahead of Robert Clifford. I don't know if he got the stage win. Looking at the standings, he didn't, but I guess when the caution came out, he was ahead, so it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things as Clifford's going to come down pit road, but I believe technically Clifford should have been the leader right there. Clifford ran through his box there. Should be alright. So I'm going to send us to Tyler Merritt, and I can go take a break myself and be back for the start of the third and final stage presented by NCS. I am back, and we are ready for the run to the finish. So it looks like our lineup is going to be Merritt, Durheim, Gardner, Heights, Cairns. Looks like a lot of guys came down to maybe take some fuel there, because about 65 laps is how long you're going to be able to last on a tank of fuel here. If you get a couple cautions, maybe some guys can stay out, but wouldn't anticipate anybody running entirely to the end just with how much tires matter and such. I personally have lost count of how many Mission 22 cautions we've had, but I believe we're probably at 8. That would be my guess. And I don't think this has been really a caution-filled race by any means. It's just kind of short track racing. I was expecting many more and a lot kind of on restarts right when we get back going, but I think these guys have done a pretty admirable job so far. So the top 5 are Merritt, Durheim, Gardner, Heights, and Cairns. And behind that, guys who pitted lap 116, Dorsey, Fensler, and then everybody else behind pitted on lap 123, starting with Will Young. So a lot of different tires, a lot of different strategies here. Let's see what happens. It'll be Merritt inside, Durheim outside, Gardner and Heights. They'll be the ones that are going to take advantage. Here we go. Green flag is out, and it's a good jump for Tyler Merritt. Nick Gardner, Chase Durheim, they are in the battle for second. And you see that bright red car. There's Jason Fensler. Back with a little bit of track position and back with a vengeance. He wants to get up there, lead some laps, and show that he should have been the dominant car all night. Durheim really loose out of the corner there, and with Ian Baker being officially out of this race, we get Jason Fensler right back in this race. So I think we'll still have kind of a big 3, big 4, depending on Nick Gardner's pace here in stage 3. But I am expecting a lot of fun here. Fensler working on Heights. He gets the move done there. Let's go on board with Jason Fensler. See how much Jason charges the entry of the corner there. He does give up a little bit on exit, but that thing is flying on entry. Let's go back a little farther, check on some battles. Clifford and Tansman, the two that led us to the white flag of stage 2. They are now battling for 9th. So they got some good stage points there. I think they both made the right call. It's about where they were both running. As Tansman gets into the wall there. But yeah, this is both where they were about running, and they ended up picking quite a few stage points up there. Fensler side by side with Nick Gardner. This is for 3rd, and he's got that move done. So he started 2nd. He's just 1 spot away from that right now. I think right now, it's how much tire can these guys save. Because these guys need to be good on the long run. We've seen Merritt be the best at it tonight. Let's see what Chase, let's see what Jason, Nick, these top 4, let's see what they got. Now, I'd bet just about anything on there being a caution before the end of this thing, but, you know, I ran an NIS race, or an A-Open race at Bristol yesterday, and I went 125 laps without a caution, so you always expect the caution in iRacing, but sometimes it doesn't happen, so got to plan for that. And then if that doesn't happen, strategy. Do you run this thing all the way to the end of the tank? Or do you try to split the stage in half and risk going a lap down? We will see. Big battle for 5th. Now it's Heights and Dorsey, and this is a classic Cody Dorsey performance. Not really seen most of the race, and then you look up stage 3. He's running around the back half of the top 10, and he's going to pick up a good points day. So he just always gets better as the race goes on, and he's showing it right now. Up into 6th position, and Robert Clifford trying to make a move as well. A lot of times you don't think of these short tracks as very momentum-based, but if you get stuck on that outside and you just can't really put a good corner together, that's going to keep stacking and stacking. You're going to lose quite a few spots, as it looks like Heights is doing right now. And Heights has kind of struggled on these medium to long runs throughout this race. Then we haven't seen it too much, but it looks like he kind of picks it up towards the middle to late, but kind of early on. I don't know if it's because he's saving tires or what, but it does drop back a little bit as Robert Clifford picks up yet another spot up into 6th. And it is a 4-car breakaway up front. Really just a 1-car breakaway, as he's 1.5 seconds ahead of second place Chase Durheim. But yeah, Tyler Merritt still running strong, still putting on a great show. What does Fensler have for Durheim? He's been gaining ever so slightly since he got to 3rd. Getting there and making a pass are two different things, though. We'll see what Jason has for him. Last lap, Fensler and Merritt were about identical lap times. Durheim was a 10th off each of them, so we'll see. Looks like he's just a little bit closer this time. And making a pass all the way up here is a lot harder than making all the passes he's been having to make earlier. But looks like Durheim's going to go high and try to protect from the outside line. I think he's just going to give that spot up. Those two raced with each other a long time, and I think they've got a lot of respect. And Fensler moves up into P2. Now the chase is on. See if he can get Tyler Merritt. It's unfortunate Ian Baker's not a part of this, because I think all 4 of those cars, if we got to the end of this thing, would have had a shot at the win. But Ian looks like he's going to come home 22nd, and it's kind of an unfortunate way for this one to end for him. Let's try to find some action. Jason Seams? No. We'll go back 1 spot. Walterman and Scott Milner. Actually, change that. We're going to go to Derek Riley, Christopher Heights. Derek Riley blinked out there, and now he's back. Looks like he lost some time as he went through that. But 53 laps to go. Let's see who plays the strategy game. If I'm Chase, Nick, those two, I think they've got speed, but it's just not enough if they play the same strategy as Fensler and Merritt. I think they should split this stage in half and go from there. I mean, it obviously puts you at risk of going a lap down, but I know Chase, he's not going to be a full-time driver this season. He's just going for the win, and I think that's going to be the best way to do it. Or if you're someone like Will Young, Robert Clifford, those guys both have fast cars as well, but again, it's just not on the level of Tyler Merritt. So sometimes you have to make your own luck. By doing that, that might be a way to do it. And I mean, if Tyler comes down in 10 to 15 laps, then I do the opposite of him. Just got to kind of play the leader and hope your strategy is the right one. But I think certainly if Tyler comes down, you got to stay out. The more risky way to do it is come down pit road. But if you go green the entire way, it is the faster way, most likely. So front two evening out just a little bit here. Fensler making no ground on our race leader, Tyler Merritt. Let's have another. Crank it up. And we are back, and nothing has changed out front. Those front two are setting almost in identical lap times every lap. It's pretty incredible. And yeah, Jason Bottoms is 2 laps down in 20th. I wouldn't say it's over for him if we can get a string of cautions at the end here, but right now not looking good for the driver of the 5. Two other guys who just set identical lap times. Chase Sturheim, Nick Gardner. But Robert Clifford, I think, is my guy to watch. He just set the fastest lap out of everybody last lap. Fastest car on the track the last couple laps. So, see if the 99 has anything to say about the finish to this race. He is 5.8 seconds back, so he'd need those leaders to stumble a little bit, but I think the way he's kind of saved his stuff, maybe he's going to be one of those guys that runs it all the way to the end. And I think most guys are going to do that, but as I say that, one down pit road, Jason Seams. Now, it doesn't look like there's any major damage there, so I think this is scheduled. And I love this play from the driver of the 81. Now, it may not end up the right call. That's not what it's about. If you're one of those drivers a little bit farther back, you might just have to do it yourself, and Tyler Merritt comes down pit road, our race leader. So he's going to play the aggressive strategy here. He wants to be on the fresher tires to end this thing. He's going to come down right now. Jason Fensler down this lap. If I'm Chase Sturheim, I'm not coming down. You see, Jason Seams behind him. He is 2 laps down. Both Merritt and Fensler, they're both going to be at least 1 lap down. If a caution comes out, he is the favorite. So not the strategy I expected from those guys. Fensler still on pit road. Finally out. And there he goes. So I don't know what happened to Fensler. I don't know if he sped or what, but he is way off Tyler Merritt. Let's go look at the 38. He is all the way up here. So Tyler's only 1 lap down. I guess maybe the thinking changes if I'm Chase, because Tyler's about to be 0 laps down in a second here. I really thought that they would lose more time and not be able to unlap themselves so quickly, but looks like Merritt's going to do that right now. But even still, you might be all right. But yeah, costly mistake, whatever it was for Jason Fensler. Going to set him back a ton. And he's going to have to... Chase is exiting turn 2, going down the backstretch right now. Fensler's just getting into turn 1, so he's got a lot of ground to make up. So Merritt, Fensler, Seams, Clifford look to be the 4 on the aggressive strategy right now. Chase Durheim, your leader. Nick Gardner, second. For Chase and Nick, they just got to make lap time the best they can right now. Maximize it, and then whenever they do have to come down pit road, they will obviously be very far behind the 38 of Merritt. But like I said, you got to create your own luck, and this is a way to do it. Both of them both praying for a caution right now and hoping that can change their fortunes. We're going to go on board with Tyler Merritt as he drives his way through this field on fresh tires. Look at all these cars in front of him. He is just praying they do not take each other out right now. And what you absolutely can't do if you're the 38 is cause a caution yourself. See one car on the wall there. Looks to be alright, though. And look at the speed difference these new tires have. Obviously, Tyler has been very fast all race, but this is special. Top of 3 wide here. Looks like a number of cars coming down pit road. Dorsey, Cairns, Derek Riley, Kerberg. I believe those guys are all teammates. They're opting to come down together. Chase Durheim now coming down pit road. So that'll give the lead to Nick Gardner. You just saw Jason Fensler unlap himself. So now it's up to Nick Gardner, our race leader, on when he'll come down pit road. It's just so agonizing being the car out there on old tires. It's just so hard to do. Not to want to bring yourself down pit road immediately. But, I mean, this is the risk these guys got to take if they want a shot at the win. I hear somebody spinning. It's the 17. He saves it, though. What a break that could have been for Gardner. But Derek Riley saves it. And Nick saw that in his mirror as well, so... And there's a caution. It is for the 9 of Cody Dorsey. Let's go take a look at what happened. So it'll be in turns 3 and 4 here. He enters the corner just too hot. Over corrects it. That is not something you expect to see out of Dorsey. He's usually one of the cleanest, more consistent drivers, and that just killed him. And this guy right here, can't believe it. All he needed to do was stay out another 1 or 2 more laps, and he was good. We'll go catch up live now, but yeah, he'll be able to take the wave around. I believe. I guess we'll see. But yeah, that could be catastrophic for Chase Erheim. Jason Seams, Robert Clifford both trapped a lap down as well. And it looks like they should be able to get their spots back. I'm not sure. But huge for Nick Gardner. He is now going to be on about 15 lap fresher tires than Tyler Merritt. It'll be 17 lap fresher than Merritt, 16 better than Fensler. Those two not going to come down pit road. So through all this mess, I believe this is going to give the lead to Tyler Merritt. It will. So if he's the leader, all these other guys will be taking the wave around. So all hope is not lost for the driver of the 2, the 99, any of those guys that tried the strategy. But, I mean, we saw Chase and, like, Derek Riley as well. He had just come down. Kerberg, Cairns, all those guys just came down pit road, and they just did it a little bit too early. I mean, there's no way of knowing when the caution is going to come out, so. I don't know when these guys are going to start taking the wave around. But it doesn't look like it's going to be just yet. So that is, I guess, probably our 11th Mission 22 caution of the night. That time it was courtesy of the 9 of Cody Dorsey. This throws a wrench in everything, though, because, well, yes, Tyler Merritt, Jason Fensler, they're the two fastest cars. They're going to be first and second. Right behind him is Nick Gardner on 15 lap fresher tires. It can almost be a second of drop-off in just 15 laps, so we'll see how things play out here. I'm trying to count their pit stops. I know they get 5 extra sets of tires, so but there they all go, getting back on the lead lap via the wave around. We'll see if they're able to catch up in time, because we are getting ready to go green here. And it is going to be the 38 and the 15. Here we go. Good jump for Gardner. Bad jump for Jason Fensler on the outside. Just did not go. So what does Gardner have? And caution is out. We will not find out what Nick has, as it is the 85 of Marshall Wilson around. See if he had any help. No, just turned in there, cold tires, spun it around. Really not a whole lot more to that. Good avoidance by Jason Bottoms. Don't know how he didn't end up involved in that. Let's find out. It's on board here. He sees the 85 kind of just take off. He wants to go up the track. Ooh! Just barely gets on by. So let's go back live. And did Jason Fensler come down pit road? Yes, he did. And I think that's the right move for Jason. I think that he probably saw the way that Nick Gardner was able to hang with Tyler Merritt right there, and he's going to go get fresh tires. He's going to be the one being aggressive here, and he's just got to survive all these ensuing restarts because, just like in real life, I think we're headed for quite a few cautions here at the end. So that'll put him back to, I believe, 12th position. And he's going to have to work his way up from there. And this has been a pretty big strategy race in this last stage here. Isn't it interesting that we see a certain guy hiding right at the end of the top 10? 58 of Dakota Bly. We do not mention him at all. And then here he is running 8th because he stayed out. He was able to pit right there, and we'll see if he's got enough pace to hang inside the top 10. But last week, ended up with the top 5, I believe. I don't know his position from Talladega, but this could be a great start to the season for the driver of the 58. And yeah, I see you guys questioning, why didn't Merritt pit right there? I think if it's any other driver on 17 lap older tires, I'm wondering the same thing, but this guy has been dominant the entire race. I don't think he wants to... Excuse me, I don't think he wants to send himself back in the middle of that hornet's nest back there and kind of jeopardize himself that way. We'll see how much these tires matter. And if we go green, get a few restarts, they're going to start to equal out. So we will go green this time by. And this is going to be fun. We've got about 15 laps to go. And I think they're going to be very, very entertaining. Very eventful, I should say. I don't know whether that means good or bad, but I'm expecting some crazy stuff to go on. Merritt inside, Gardner outside. And watch for Will Young and Dylan Walterman. Merritt's got good jumps all night. He gets another one. Dylan Walterman gets a terrible one. Back there in 4th, and now Will Young moves up to 2nd. What does the driver of the 68 have late in this running? How much do tires matter? Will Young all over the back bumper of Tyler Merritt. That 38 is struggling the most we've seen it all night. Where will Will go? Right to the back bumper. Doesn't have anything just yet. He's going to go up top. Here they go, side by side. Almost for the race lead. Now it might be for 2nd. Young has to take advantage right now, or it might be Nick Gardner being the one taking advantage. Here he goes to the inside. These tires are going to start to equal out. They got to go now. What a drive this would be from Merritt if he can hold on. Fensler already up to 7th. If this thing goes green to the end, watch for him and Chase Durheim back there. Gardner is there. He's not clear up just yet. So Will Young going to stay fighting on the outside. 10 laps to go. These two fighting so hard for 2nd is Tyler Merritt's dream. I think that's the only reason he's not giving up this position just yet. Gardner going to look to the inside. Gardner and Young just can't separate from each other. Gardner is clear for a second. He's not going to move up, though. Will Young back on the outside. Coming to 7 laps to go this time by. Now Gardner is fully clear. He can set all his sights forward. What does the driver of the 27 have? Nick Gardner, Tyler Merritt, Will Young. The top 3 under a blanket. Gardner now to the inside. Can he get his nose there? He's side by side for the lead. Tyler Merritt on older tires. Can he hold on? Watch for Jason Fensler. He's coming through the field. Gardner gets loose. Caution is out. It's for Chase Durheim. I believe a little bit further back. We'll go take a look. So this is in turns 1 and 2. He's all the way up the track. Tries to get a good exit. And then just gets into Fensler there. I don't think he expected Fensler to kind of shut the door. And, yeah, iRacing through the caution for that. Luckily for Chase, but unluckily, I believe, for Tyler Merritt. We'll see what he decides to do. I don't think he can come down pit road. Not enough guys are going to do it with you here. But I don't know how you win the race from the lead. I guess if you get a good enough jump, you might be all right. Will he come down pit road? I wouldn't expect it. Merritt will stay on the racetrack. Nobody out of the top 5 here are going to come down. Chase Durheim will be the first guy back in 10th. But it'll only lose him probably a couple positions there. But yeah, we will be in Underdog Racing League overtime. And this is about to get wild. I mean, Merritt did a masterful job holding on right there. It is going to maybe just ruin Nick Gardner's night that caution did not come 1 corner later, because he was right in the process of making that pass to the lead. Now he's got to do it on a restart. But we know that Tyler Merritt is vulnerable now. We know that he can be passed. It's just, do these guys, 1st through 4th, have enough speed to do it? Is Jason Fensler too far back? Because he's on fresh tires. He's been the 2nd fastest car. But I don't know if he's close enough. We will see. It's going to all come down to who can get the best launch here. And after that, just got to be aggressive. Make your move. And we will see who can be a winner of the 3rd race of the Underdog Racing League season. Whew. And I think now I do agree. Well, maybe not. I mean, yeah, maybe Tyler should have pitted there, but right now he's the race leader. And Jason Fensler, who did come down, is back in 5th. So you gotta wonder, I mean, obviously Merritt is not in a great position tire-wise or anything like that, but he's still the race leader, so. And I need to catch us back up because we are 1 lap to green. That would have been a problem. So it'll be Tyler Merritt, the man who's dominated all night, trying to hold off the hard charges from Nick Gardner, Will Young, Dylan Walterman, Jason Venzler, Noah Tansman. See what David Chapman, Scott Milner, what they have. But up front, it'll be Gardner, it'll be Merritt, side by side as we enter NASCAR overtime. Green flag is out, and it's a good jump for Merritt. What does Will Young have? Jason Fensler, watch for him. Fensler to the inside. That is not what Tyler Merritt wanted to see. Fensler's got to come from a long way back, though. Does he have enough? White flag is out. Walterman sliding through the grass. It's all Tyler Merritt right now. Fensler cannot get clear of Will Young. And it's going to be Tyler Merritt coming through turns 3 and 4. And he is going to pick up a well-deserved victory as they're side-by-side for a second. That's going to go to Will Young. What a performance. What a drive from Tyler Merritt in his URL debut. On much older tires than the rest of the field. Held him off. And he is your victor. Anyone else winning this race would have been probably pretty undeserved the way that Tyler drove tonight, but it was a great race throughout. Great battles and a pretty clean race, all things considered. So, yeah, great racing tonight. Great show put on by Merritt. And Will Young showed up at the end there. Got a second place. So we'll wait for these guys to head in and get their interview done. I wonder if Tyler knows of the interview. His first race in here, but we'll wait, try to catch you up with the top 3 and see what they thought of the finish there. That was a lot of fun. I mean, Richmond, the short tracks are always scary, especially on ones where you get loose on exit and it's pretty easy to wreck. But, I mean, these guys did a great job all night, and I think this shows what a great season we're in store for. I know maybe some of you URL veterans have seen Jason Fensler before be a dominant car, not really be under a lot of pressure, but I think this year we've got some very good competition out front. Ian Baker, Tyler Merritt, Fensler, Young, Robert Clifford was fast tonight, Chase Durheim. I mean, there are a lot of good guys in this field. Let's go hear from our third place, Jason Fensler. Hey, Jason, you got me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
P3 at the end there. What more did you need to go get Tyler out there?
Probably a few laps running by myself, to be honest with you. I was playing catch-up all race, so I never really could figure out what I needed to, without traffic being around me. So I'll definitely take it for sure. After the way the race started, finishing third, I'm pretty happy with that, but wish we would have been able to race it out from the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have... it was a restart penalty, right?
Yeah, it's that restart zone. It's so tricky because I only have a single monitor, so I can't see out the left side, and thought he was a little bit ahead of me, but they nabbed me. So it's part of it. It's kind of one of the downsides to that restart zone, especially when you have a single monitor. You really can't see the guy next to you. So it's one of them deals. We'll move on.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, how do you go from going 2 laps down, and what's kind of your strategy to get back on the lead lap at these short tracks?
Well, it's difficult because, you get a long enough green, they're going to start lapping guys, and it puts you even further behind. I was 2 laps down, so it was really difficult for me to even get into the lucky dog position. So it took a lot longer than I wanted it to. But once we got the one lap down, it's kind of just try and race the guys that I need to race and try and position myself track position wise to where I can get the lucky dog. So it took a while, it took longer than I wanted, but at least we did it. We got back on the lead lap. So, but when I was lapped down, I just stayed out on old tires, just trying to manage track position and get to that one lap down deal.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a great recovery from you. Third place is very, very good. And yeah, great race tonight, Jason. And we'll see you next week, man.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you very much.
It's third place, Jason Funzler. Let's go grab Will Young. Hey, Will, you got me?
Yeah, I do. How's it going?
Good. I mean, second place for you. Yeah, if that caution doesn't come out, you might have had a shot. But what was your thoughts going into the restart there, starting third?
I mean, I was way happier starting third than I would have been starting second, just because I knew the run I could get, and I've done it a couple times before where I could get in front of second place starting on that bottom.
Yeah, and once you got clear of second, I mean, obviously Jason was coming behind you, but what moves did you need to make? What more did you need to go get Tyler there out in the lead?
It would have been tough. I mean, he was fast. I tried on that, second to last restart to kind of get above him, and then that didn't work, and that ended up opening the door for Nick to get below me. So I don't really know what I could have done. I wasn't trying to move him. I was just trying to race as respectfully as I could. I'm just happy to get second. To be honest, I was running pretty bad halfway through this race. So
yeah, and I mean the way you got it was through that strategy. What were you thinking through stage 3 there? Were you just gonna run it till it ran out?
yeah, pretty much. I was just planning on getting a splash and go with the final 10 laps when I did run out of fuel, and then I saw it was a bit of a jump scare. I saw Cody just go right into the wall in front of me. I was like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah, I mean, good race for you though, Will. Got a great finish, and yeah, we'll see you next week, man.
Yeah, I just want to thank my sponsor, Wild Bill Soda, and yeah, thank you, Al. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too, man. See ya.
See ya.
That was Will Young, P2. Let's go grab a race winner, Tyler Merritt. Hey, Tyler, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. How's it going?
Good. I mean, 1 for 1 for you tonight. How did you hold them off on those old tires, man?
If Will or Jason had not been fighting each other, one of them was going to pull away, I would have been fishing a barrel pretty much. When I saw how everyone pitted, especially Jason, after those couple last cautions, I was like, well, I need to go take 4 tires, but I'm like, no. And then I saw how a few cars were on the lead lap. I was like, yeah, I should have pit. Took 4 tires, but it worked out for me, especially with my first race back in the league, second race in the league, actually. It's a nice way to kick it off, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. On that last caution, was there any thought of coming down pit road? I know you talked about earlier you thought maybe you should have came down, but any thought at all at the end there?
Oh, no, I was thinking if we had like 15 or so to go, enough for me to be able to work my way back through the field, yeah, I would have took 4 tires. But that late, I was like, unless we turn a bunch of girl on checkers, I'm not taking 4 tires. I'm not. Unless I fell back to like 6 or 7, I'd go take tires, you know. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. I'd say good thing is I had control of the restarts, and I swapped to anti-stall clutch to make sure that I could get a good jump, you know, every restart, which helped me out a lot more than you would think it would.
Yeah, definitely.
But thanks for the good broadcast, guys. That it was. I'm sure I'll have to go back and watch it. You know, at the end of this. Also, to let everyone know, you got beat by a guy on controller. How does it feel?
You are on a controller. That's impressive, man.
Yeah, I'm a 5K on controller, man. I want to thank my sponsors, Wild Bill. Well, the team sponsor, Wild Bill, Custom Inc. All the guys Full Send Racing, Noah, Dakota, Dylan, Will, Thomas, all of them. You know, it's been a lot of fun, and Noah as well. They actually asked me to come back because they wanted to see someone give Jason a fight for the win every week, and I was like, I want to race for y'all, so why not? I'll come mix it up, give the guy who's been winning a lot a fight for his money, you know.
Oh yeah, man. I think you, Jason, Chase, Ian, I think you guys are gonna have some great battles this year. So glad to have you here, and good luck next week, Tyler.
All right, I appreciate it, man. I hope to be up here next week.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see ya.
Take it, man. Take it.
That was Tyler Merritt, your race winner, and a dominant race winner at that. With that, though, we'll go through our final running order. It was Tyler Merritt, your race winner. Will Young, P2. Jason Fensler, 3rd place. Noah Tansman, 4th. Nick Gardner ended up 5th. Robert Clifford, 6th. David Chapman Jr., 7th. And a top 10 for Dakota Bly there in 8th. Dylan Walterman, 9th. Scott Milner, 10th. Derek Riley, Jason Seams, Curtis Cairns. Scott Kerberg, Christopher Heights, 10th through 15th, and Jason Bottom, Stephen Horner. Chase Durheim ended up P18, disappointing for him. Marshall Wilson, 19th. Matthew Young, 20th. Cody Dorsey, 21st. Ian Baker, another disappointing run for him, 22nd. Definitely had a top 5 car. Justin Shank, Evan Logue, Steve Rogers, Jake Williams, top 10 car, ended up 26th. And then David Buell rounds out the field in 27th. And you see our good old official Justin Stannard there, 28th. But so glad to have all you guys watching with me. I want to thank our wonderful sponsors here tonight. Wild Bill Soda, our presenting sponsor, of course. Ultimate Siding and Gunners. National Coatings and Supplies. Single Source. R4 Environmental. Java Jacks. Washington's on the Fence. Martin Sports. They presented our post-race coverage tonight. And then Custom Ink. So thank you to all of them. It'd be hard to do this without them. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you to them for supporting. And thank you to the drivers for putting on a great show tonight. We'll see you next week at Chicagoland for the throwback race.